Ready? Patrick? Hi. Everybody hear me? All right, this is City of Avondale Estates Board of Mayor Commissioners. This is our regular meeting. It's August 12th, 2026. It's 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have an agenda before us. Do I have a motion to adopt? That was Lida. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was Louis. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Commissioner Smith will be listening in this evening, but he's not able to just reply at any moment, so he's not going to be here effectively, but he is listening in. He just doesn't know when he may be able to vote or not vote, so he's just going to listen in. Okay, so commissioner comments. Mayor Pro Tem?
Not much from me tonight, just thank you all for being here. And the only thing is I'm looking forward to the sugar polish ribbon cutting this week. And if you've never been to a business ribbon cutting in the city, I would encourage you to come because they're a happy event and they're joyous and it's a nice thing to come out for to see. So that's it.
Yes, Commissioner Swaza?
I don't have much to say other than I'm looking forward to our centennial celebration in the street party, and I need to find out who to ask how I can volunteer. So maybe at some point, Patrick, you can, or Shannon will let us know how.
Okay, Commissioner Stebbins?
Well, welcome all this evening. It's good to see you here. I want to say that I have visited Sugar Polish and they did a good job on my pedicure and I will be going back. So it was a very nice environment and the staff was wonderful. I also tried fun in Bombay and went into the convenience store. The food was very good. My family eats a lot of Indian. I met Johnny and he's a lovely man. So cheers to them and try them out. And then I'm looking forward to trying out Ford barbecue soon. I rotisserie chicken. So
Yes.
that's all I've got.
That's a lot. Thank you. I don't have much to add. So, Mr. Manager?
Yes, some of this has been touched on, so pardon if I reiterate. Today is my parents' basement's 11th anniversary.
Ooh.
We are happy to have our favorite nerd bar, as they like to call themselves, right in Avondale Estates. And we are excited to announce 2 new businesses have opened. The aforementioned Ford's Chicken by Commissioner Stedman opened today. Shannon and I actually went and ate lunch there today, and it was delicious. So congrats to them. Also, Los Niños Taqueria has opened a taco truck on Olive Street right outside of Little Tree Art Studios. So please go support them as well. And we talked about Sugar Polish, but just a reminder, join us for their official ribbon cutting at their location on the 2nd floor of the Dale this Friday, August the 14th at 11 a.m. We have some exciting events to talk about as well. First up, let's count pollinators. The community is invited to participate in the annual Great Southeast Pollinator Count on the morning of Saturday, August the 22nd from 10 a.m. to noon. City staff and volunteers from the Avondale Estates Garden Club and the Avon Garden Club will be available to help you count bees, butterflies, and other pollinators as they land on flowers. Please spend 15 minutes with us at one of the 4 or 5 counting locations, including those in the Northwoods and neighbors' flowers lining the sidewalk close by to help support. Look in next week's e-news for all of the location information. It's also time to start celebrating the city's centennial. We are kicking off festivities on Friday, August the 28th with a street festival on Franklin Street between Olive and Pine Streets from 6 to 9 p.m. Commune will be spinning tunes. Artist studios will be open and an improv group will toast and roast Avondale Estates inside Little Tree Art Studios. There will be kids activities, food trucks, including from Skips, Banjo, and Los Niños Taqueria, a former DeKalb History Center display of the city inside of Olive and Pine, centennial giveaways, including temporary tattoos by Swink's Tattoo Emporium, and much more. It's free for the whole family, and it's a great chance for all of us to come together to celebrate what makes Avondale special. If you want to help, we could use volunteers for 1.5-hour shifts to assist. Please reach out to communications@avondaleestates.org to sign up. Also, in recognition of the centennial, the following night on August 29th at 7 p.m. is the 1920s Gala at the Community Club. Please buy your tickets in advance. There are QR codes located on marketing materials, and those posters can be found throughout City Hall. So please check those out on your way out of the building tonight if you haven't already done so.
All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. All good up here? All good. Okay. Public comment.
Promise
This is-
I've had far less coffee today, folks.
Okay.
That's it. Integrity is being honest and doing what's right, even when no one's watching. I appreciate the many perspectives of the people who live in this community. Visit, drive through it, write about it, vote here, those who want to improve it, along with humanity in general. There are people who do manipulate, abuse power, double down on their lies, create more to defend their position. Some apologize so often, there's no value to their words. Others remain silent as if every single human being is not fallible of something. Unusual even at work, it seems, when anyone takes accountability for anything these days. Even more rare for an elected body to hold their fellow leaders accountable for bad behavior, even after deciding they behave badly. Maybe even when there are good people opting to co-bury such an incident instead of voting down party lines or out of fear. Perhaps fear of progress will stop, or fear of progress will continue depending on where you sit. Or maybe because discipline in general just seems to have vanished. Adults in general seem to be shocked to be corrected, refuse to provide discipline to protect someone else, or expect a culture of kindness and basic respect, which I clearly walked into this evening, which was lovely. A get or done attitude is appreciated when it's inclusive, not when it's at the expense of your human resources. Many people, organizations and institutions for many decades have contributed to where Avondale and the surrounding area are now, including the board, maybe the city manager and previous managers as well. Let's not forget their contributions either, that they're harder to see before the buildings came out of the ground. And I mean that most respectfully. Making comparisons to previous leadership, how they handled things like their privilege, misogyny, and racism is still relevant indeed. But not as a reason to suggest others have gotten away with it. And since no one pushed or exposed those issues then, it's okay to continue to do now. Or perhaps it's okay because the rest of the country looks so often this way. The bar is pretty low and I fear we're tripping on it. Sometimes change comes from the bottom down and not the top up.
Thank you. Okay. Paul?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. First, thanks for all of the emails back and forth the last couple of weeks. It's been really helpful. Patrick especially. 2 weeks ago, I addressed you about the possibility of establishing a perpetual endowment fund for Lake Avondale. And now I understand that for donor reasons and financial reasons, we need to delay that possibility. So I wanted to talk about that momentarily, and then I had a couple of items on the capital plan. So just please add to the backlog of projects for 27 or 28 the possibility of creating a Lake Avondale perpetual endowment fund. Next point, on the capital plan that you're going to talk about, what we really have is it's a really nice piece of work. It's really a 3-year forecast of the city's investment needs. That's the good news. The kind of bad news is the needs far exceed the resources by about $2.5 million. So the plan that you've got before you tonight does a great job of expressing a $13.5 million need. And it appears from the heading that most of that money needs to be invested in 2026. My request is that before you all vote on this, that you request the finance director or the city manager to spread those dollars out over at least a couple, 3 years, so that you can really see the impact of that $2.5 million shortfall. The next point, and this is really good news, the proposed budget that you're going to talk about tonight includes $3.3 million of money from the federal or state government to really take care of the streets in the downtown area. The thing that doesn't show through here, it's very exciting, is that's created the possibility of increasing your paving budget for paving roads, curbs, some other things, from $150,000 last December to almost $1 million in this budget. That's phenomenal. So before you vote, or if you could talk about, does that have the possibility of increasing or accelerating the paving program throughout the city? Along those lines, it'd be nice to know if we're on a 15-year cycle or 20-year cycle. Sorry, I keep dropping this. I guess that's because it's a shortfall. It keeps falling off. Anyway, the next point, and probably one of the most pressing and important is the situation with the Lake Avondale dam repairs. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 30 more seconds, please.
20, go.
Before you all vote, either tonight or in 2 weeks, please get an update, even if it's a verbal update from the engineers on what the estimated cost of that and when construction can begin, what the priority is, and if that's going to push other needed projects out of the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Other comment? Anyone online? Okay. Last call. Anyone else out there? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to bring it back up here. Anything up here? Okay, all right. So item number 5, we have before us the meeting minutes of the July 22nd, 2026 regular meeting and the July 22nd, 2026 work session. Do I have a motion to engross the minutes?
So moved.
That was Graham. Do I have a second? That was Light. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's 4. Okay, all right. All right, this is, give me 1 second. This is the first read of an ordinance amending the budget for fiscal year 2026 for the city of Avondale Estates. As prescribed in our charter, we do have the possibility of passing this on first read with a consent vote. So, do I have a motion for a consent vote? Nope. Okay. So this will be the first read of an ordinance to adopt the budget. We will do a second read at the next meeting, which is
The 26th. Mr. Mayor, if you would allow, I've got some updates for you guys with
Oh, yeah.
respect to this item. So I am happy that there was no motion for a consent vote because I don't believe that we are prepared to consider the ordinance as currently drafted.
Right.
So couple of things. First, I want to address some of the comments made by Mr. Doro, just for clarity's sake. The board is unable to create an endowment for the late because it is prohibited from doing so by state law that keeps a board from binding a future board to a set of expenditures or restrictions on expenditures. However, I think that discussion is a little more nuanced because, for example, let's just say Mr. Doro had $1 million that he wanted to donate to the city now. The donor could restrict those funds, and then before they're accepted into the city's coffers, that option could be presented to the board for acceptance or denial of said donation for that purpose. However, once a donation is made and hits the general fund, those funds can only be committed for a purpose. They cannot be restricted for specific activity because of the aforementioned state law, keeping one board from binding a future board to a specific expenditure. Needless to say, legally, that can't be accomplished at this point.
Wait a minute. So if someone said, I want you to create an endowment, here's $1 million, we can create an endowment.
If they specify that purpose and you accept the money for that purpose.
So it could be done.
I think in the endowment hypothetical specifically, it's more like the donor would create it and the city would be the beneficiary. So the board's not making a decision to tie up the money. You just get the benefits over time based on how the endowment works.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Moving on from that, we received information today from Dewberry regarding the Lake Avondale Southwoods Stormwater Rehabilitation Project. If y'all recall, we were anticipating our 30% drawings and an opinion of estimated cost. We have not yet sat down to meet with Dewberry or analyze that information to be able to give y'all any recommendations about the execution of that project quite yet. We anticipate we'll have all of that information ready for you by the next BOMC meeting to discuss. However, we don't believe the information that we will provide to you will have really any material impact on the actual city resources that are currently committed to that project in the budget. if y'all recall, what we're proposing in this amendment is a little over $2 million of monies that the city already has for the project and potentially supplementing any additional need via a grant award. Based on what we received today, we do not believe that the city will necessarily have to expend any additional resources, but we're not completely comfortable with an understanding about how many additional resources we will have to seek from the state or the federal government. So we will be consulting with Dewberry over the next week or two and be able to present y'all with more information at the next meeting. However, again, I do not believe it materially impacts the amendment that as proposed. What will impact the amendment as proposed is the final digest. So last Friday, we received our final digest. We have subsequently analyzed the impact of the digest onto both the general fund and the TAD fund. And based on the final digest, we did experience a 6% attrition rate per appeals. So our digest the assessed value of the digest decreased from 507 million to 477 million. As a result, interestingly enough, the impact on the general fund and the TAD are relatively even. Both are about 6%. So we're anticipating generating revenue $82,000 less than what we had projected in this amendment based on the millage rate that was established at the end of June. So before you consider this amendment, we will have to build in a revenue reduction of $82,000 beyond what we already have and present that impact to you. Basically, from first blush, the impact is pretty cut and dry. It eliminates our capital transfer for the year and would, unless expenditures in the operating budget were reduced, result in us having to dip into fund balance to cover the cost of our budget obligations as they are currently adopted. One thing of note about that process, of course, is reducing expenditures in the budget 8 months into the year is a little more difficult than it would be at budget adoption. And so you're looking at the only types of things you could cut potentially would be future events like the cost associated with Christmas or positional layoffs, which would reduce, the impact of salaries on the budget. Those would be the only two options. Otherwise, you take some of your unassigned fund balance and use that to balance the budget at year end. Now, in terms of unassigned fund balance, we have a policy whereby we are required to keep 25% of operating expenditures on hand in case there is a need. We are in excess of that policy. At the previous year end, we have about 38% of our operating expenditures in unassigned fund balance, and that already takes into account the transfer of a portion of the unassigned fund balance to capital, which was pledged in 2023 and recently made. So we will make those adjustments to the draft materials as soon as possible tomorrow. Get those to you so you will have those to be able to consider well in advance of the next BOMC meeting.
Okay.
I have a question. Have y'all gotten the receivable reports yet from the county?
No, we just received the final digest and the average value spreadsheet on Friday.
Okay, thanks.
All good up here?
Does that mean we'll have our first read next week or next time?
It'll be second read, but
That'll still be. second.
So in the past, how we've handled these things is after the first read, which
Tonight.
is currently happening,
Okay.
you have the ability to amend for the second read and consider at second read. So that's why we want to give you these materials as soon as possible, so y'all have plenty of time to consider them prior to our next meeting.
Before we move on, I have some questions and comments. First, my question is, all these projects listed, do we have to vote again on them before we move forward with them? Or once we authorize these, are they authorized to move forward without any action by us?
So, no, right? The capital program is just a plan.
Mhm.
Each of these projects then have to be brought back to the board on an individual basis for contractual obligations.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify. I've been looking over this and, you know, I wasn't there when y'all approved this, but I'm kind of looking at it like Paul said, from a kind of cash flow. Look to see, you know, how our money, you know, where are we getting the money to manage all these projects? I did look at the balance sheets as of June. And the total, and leaving the small splost and taking out this shared streets project, we've got about $13 million in projects. And the funds after the 1.42 million total about 6.5. Let's see. So in the capital, the SPLOST 2 and the stormwater. So I'm a little concerned about the revenue, because the capital fund is not a revenue generating fund. It is only gets its money either from transfer from other funds or from posting, you know, grant funds or something like that. This SPLOST 2 fund, you know, we had a $2 million SPLOST grant or whatever it was called from DeKalb County, and then we took out a loan for 3.7 million. Part of that 3.7 million was used for the 1.42. Well, yeah, to change, you know, to send that to the DDA. So after that, you know, we have a balance of 4,236,224. You know, to do what we need to do for the rest of this stuff. I think that and the other thing is there's no more revenue coming into this account in a while, because we pledged the, you know, the SPLOST revenue to pay off the revenue bond. So there's no more revenue coming in there. The other one is that, you know, we got about 429,000 in stormwater fees last year. I would expect to get at least the same this year. So I'm a little concerned about the revenue coming in to pay for these projects. I'd like us to take a deeper dive into that at some point. And also, I feel like the 2.3 that it's showing from the SPLOST funds to pay for the lake, I would like that to be restricted to the lake. We can't spend it on anything else, because that is a very critical project and a very expensive project. And I think everything we do from this point with money, we have to keep that in mind, that we have to pay for that. You know, we already have a fair amount in debt. We're still paying $520 a year on the bond for the park and the Northwoods project. So, you know, I just think that this is something we need to, you know, discuss more and before, you know, voting on all this. I also, I don't think we've really discussed at a meeting about how we're going to use the Walmart money. Not the Walmart, Waffle House money. So, you know, I'd like some clarity on that as well, how that is being, how we're going to decide to designate that money.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing. I also feel like, you know, the DDA has the work that they're doing in the downtown and the projects that they need to carry on, and we have what we need to do for the city as a whole. And I think it might be a nice thing, at least maybe quarterly or semi-annually, is to have a you know, meeting with both bodies together to talk about, you know, what we're working on and how we can work together, you know, to get everything accomplished. I think that might be a nice thing to do.
Can I take a moment?
Absolutely.
For those following along who don't have the benefit of being deep in the details. Lida, Paul Dora, or Commissioner Stedman are talking about this. So this is the Avondale Estates capital budget fiscal year 2026. So this was sort of a living document. So a couple of years ago, some of these items were on here. Last year, this current year, they're on there, and some of them will continue to be on there. These are not like, this is exactly what we're doing this year, and we're going to spend. This is a look ahead. Paul, I think you said 3 years. I think I've heard this is sort of a 2-year look ahead. But it's not like, these are things like, let's say there's a stormwater project down at the bottom of Pine Street. Yeah, Pine Street. That has to be designed, and that has engineer has to design it. Then it has to be reviewed, it has to be bid, it has to be permitted, it has to get done, the money has to. So this is not that we are spending this money tomorrow. These are the things, I have to think of it like home. I have a long to-do list of things that need to be repaired at home. Some of them I will do right away, and some I know they're there. They're not, the house isn't going to fall, so I will deal with them eventually. I know it, and I put it on the list because there's needs to be some. So I'm saying this partially for those who aren't up to speed on all the details. That this isn't identifying that there isn't a problem that needs to be solved. These are all problems that need to be solved, and they need to be accounted for, considered, designed, engineered, etc. And then we have to come up and decide what year is the right year to do these things, and can we get grants, etc., etc. This is sort of the way I think of it. It may not be a perfectly technically accurate description, but I hope it helps the folks following along who aren't up to speed on every little detail.
Hey. Good. Good. Okay. So, anything to add?
Commissioner Suazo's explanation was technically accurate. So that was a really great way to explain what the capital program is.
Yeah.
So kudos.
All right. So, anything further up here on that? Okay. All right. So the second read with an amendment will be August 26th.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. All right, item number 7. You want to tee this up first?
Sure. So we've talked about this on several occasions. The city has a stormwater pipe that is exposed out of an embankment in our right of way on Center Street. And the pipe pushes water from elsewhere in the downtown and off of 278 through this pipe and out into the downtown. The problem we have is that the pipe has 2 problems. One, it does not have a conveyance where it dumps the water to. So all of the water coming out of this pipe rushes onto private property, creating an unnatural condition. The second is the pipe is undersized. So it actually, it essentially works to amplify the pressure of the water that's moving through it. And so all of the water that spills out of it is actually coming out of it faster than you would want. So that unnatural condition is actually made worse by that. And it causes erosion to private property. That private property happens to now be owned by the Avila Hedgewood Consortium. And if y'all recall, the DDA has a contractual agreement with them to build a stormwater retention amenity at the north end of the downtown, which will essentially function to contain all of the stormwater coming off of their properties and stormwater that is emanating from public roadways and public areas throughout the downtown. In order for us to remove our legal liability from the unnatural condition that we are creating for that private property as a result of this undersized exposed pipe, we are asking you guys to transfer an amount of $355,000 to the DDA so that the DDA can amend their contract for public infrastructure with Avila Hedgewood to upsize this pipe, take it underground, connect to a pipe that they will install on their own private property, which will take all of this water and lead it into that stormwater retention amenity on the north end of the downtown. And the reason we're asking for this is pretty simple. They will already have a contractor on site installing new piping on their private property going directly to the retention amenity that they're building. And it makes absolute sense to have them continue that work to upsize this existing pipe to connect those two pipes. It'll reduce the cost of the project significantly. And because of that, we're asking you to facilitate this transfer because it is our project. It's not a DDA project. It is a city condition with city infrastructure that is causing the unnatural condition on the Avila Hedgewood property. So we're asking to transfer monies from the SPLOST 2 fund to the DDA so that the DDA can amend their contract with Avila Hedgewood to execute this project and remove the condition from the downtown. And the Avila Hedgewood has agreed to perform this work and has provided a cost estimate of just under $350,000. The reason that we're asking for the transfer for $355,000 that you will see in the IGA is for the hiring of a third-party inspector to ensure that the work, since it is a city project, is being conducted in the public right-of-way to our specifications. We're also working really closely with the county on this project because the county had to relax their utility separation requirements in order for us to perform this work, which they have agreed to do because they want us using our SPLOST 2 money for this express purpose, which is stormwater. As you've said before, Mr. Mayor, stormwater doesn't just disappear at the city's limits. Stormwater we create goes elsewhere, and the stormwater created in unincorporated county comes in here. So we really all have to work together in tandem to solve these problems. That's what we're proposing to do here. This IGA is simply the transfer of the money for those purposes to the DDA to amend the contract, as I mentioned.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for the explanation. We can have questions before or after the motion. I don't really care, but any questions?
Well, I've got more of a statement. Should
Well, I'll go ahead and
answer?
I don't care.
Well, I know last time I said that I thought this was a project that DDA should pick up. I mean, it is connected to the Avila development that's going on. I don't know, Patrick has said that it's purely city and I have to accept that. But I think it's something the DDA could have paid for. I think it's a question we should have asked. I know David said at the last meeting, he didn't think it was a good use of their money. But we do have a lot of projects on our plate and we do need to consider how our funds are spent. And that's why I'd like to have better coordination between us and the DDA to see if there are some things that maybe they could help us with. That's really all I have to say.
Okay.
I'd just say, I'm in favor of doing this and I do, I do see the value in doing an IGA with the DDA because I do think it coordinates the project a lot better and we do get a better deal on everything. And just to kind of continue Louis' explanation, this is a good example of taking something from the to-do list and putting it into action. So that's how these things kind of line up and we do just because it's on this plan, we do revisit it and do make votes in order to fund. That or that, which one? This one right here. Yeah.
Just real quick. This ordinance includes a drafted plan. It shows a 36-inch concrete pipe. It's a tiny version of a construction document. That's signed and sealed by an engineer. So as you said, it is a real project now. It's not just the line item. It's engineered. The actual cost, I don't know, is what it is. We're pledging a fixed amount. If it's more than that, that project takes care of it. And I've seen water pouring out of that pipe, and it's kind of silly that we have literally water from 278 going underground and then coming out of the ground again and washing down Center Street. And one final thing is there's all these little behind the scenes things that people don't know, but the county, that's a very narrow road. The county has a certain distance requirement, like from a water line. Like if you're going to excavate to put a storm line next to a water line, you have to be a certain distance away. And our staff worked closely and negotiated or convinced or whatever they did with the county to allow us to put this pipe in the street, even though it's slightly closer. There's extra money in here to ensure there's adequate inspection, like the installation of the pipe has to be inspected, the compaction, the paving, all that stuff, partially because it's a little bit closer to that water line. So there's all these little details that, I just learn about at some point, some of you may not know about, but a lot of it goes into this behind the scenes. And we're lucky to have a staff that has a good relationship with the county that can, work reasonably with them to make sure things like this don't become problems. And less interaction can cause more problems later. So I'm pleased that this is before us. I'm pleased that there's funds set aside in SPLOST to do this. And I'm pleased that we have a professional staff dealing with this.
Very good. Agree. All right. All good? Okay, so do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve an intergovernmental agreement for the Center Street Stormwater Infrastructure Extension?
So moved.
That was Louis. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was Graham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's 4. 3.5. I saw that. Okay. All right. That's all right. Just joking. All right. All good up here? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn? That was Lida. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was Graham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We're going to take a 10-minute break and we adjourn down at the table for our work session in 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. All right, this is the City of Avondale Estates Board of Mayor Commissioners Work Session. It is August 12th, 2026. It is now 6:22. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have an agenda before us. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Okay.
That was Lyda, do I have a second? Yeah. That's Graham, all in favor, aye. Aye. It's 4. All right, continued discussion of civility pledge.
Want to tee it up? So included in your packet tonight are 3 documents. The first is the civility pledge as constructed by GMA. The second is, or the one that is titled July 30 was the draft that we discussed previously, cleaned up per direction by Stephen. And then the third document was the Stephen's track changes or cleanup of the document provided prior to the meeting last week, but not a part, or the last meeting that was not included in the packet that was provided by Commissioner Stipp. So those are the 3 documents that you have before.
So this is just the custom version of this. The second one.
Y'all
Well,
edited
the
this a
second
bit
one-
though, didn't you?
There
Was
were,
You edited this one,
Wait a
the
minute.
GMA one a bit. Sorry, I'm sorry.
okay, I'll be happy to address these questions. The one that's by GMA, I don't have the packet, but maybe this is.
That's it, that's it.
Oh, sorry.
So, that's okay. The GMA one, I think, is exactly what they have on their website.
And then.
And we can tell that because. Yeah, like, so like, for example,
Right, right,
it
right.
says city or town rather than Avondale.
So
State.
this is,
So I've done nothing to that.
so this is
That's
just
the first one.
the city specific version of this.
The second one is close to that, but there's a couple things. So Commissioner Stedman has sent at least 2 rounds of suggestions. And the second document in your packet incorporates her first set of suggestions without designating them as track changes. Now, when I incorporated those, I took the liberty of just kind of slightly rephrasing things a couple times to make it read better, in my opinion. Then the third document is the second document with the changes that Commissioner Stedman proposed as a second iteration of changes, indicated as track changes.
And they actually made the flip in their packet.
I see what's what, because the track shows has underlines.
One, this is straight,
Yeah, that's just a template, really.
2 is the one written incorporating with a few changes. 3 are the changes written as you wrote them. Is that correct? Right.
Right.
So we're all on the
Yes.
same.
Yes.
I'm fine with version 2. But I would like to add, a couple of things that, so. One thing is, there was a whereas the BOMC recognizes that the responsibility of public officials are best fulfilled when elected officials and, city staff respect one another. You could put city manager there instead of city staff. Respect one another's roles and work collaboratively in carrying out the city's business. And then the second one, I think, there should be an ending that there's, there's the ability to address the situation, like in the electronics, prohibition at the podium. There was a, consequence. If you are a cop doing this, you could get a fine up to $1,000. Well, I'm not suggesting anything like that. So what I thought we could end it with was the Board of Mayor and Commissioner retains the authority to address conduct inconsistent with these principles through any lawful means available to it, consistent with the charter, ordinances, policies, contracts. So there's no specificity to what you do, but it states that, action can be taken. And I think that's kind of important.
What I would say is we can do that anyway. And I guess the reason I'm in favor of this cleaned up version of GMAs, which is what this is.
And I'm fine with that.
I mean, reality is, the board has administrative control, I guess is the best way to put it, of the city manager for the charter. And which really, in my opinion, any specificity about that needs to be in our contract with him. And we do have a contract with the city manager. We review that every year. We make amendments to that contract for various changes. But this is a contractual obligation, contractual relationship. Our accountability is to you through elections. Actually, could be through a recall. How else? That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think.
Unless we commit a civil or criminal offense against someone, that's a different matter, but that's where our accountability is to the voters, is to the citizens. And I believe that any additional accountability within this board actually is against the spirit of democracy, quite frankly, because that means that three of us can say, well, we don't really like you, and we're just gonna do things to you because of whatever. I mean, we're only accountable you. That's it. And the state and the laws of the state of Georgia.
Well, I don't think
So-
anything I read, it's.
But I mean, I'm just saying, that's my opinion on it. That's just kind of why I want to, I think there's a reason this document is written by GMA the way it is written.
Yeah, but it's written as a template for cities to use to modify it to suit their specific needs. It doesn't mean it's the only way it can be done.
No, but I would say that this original template was vetted pretty heavily by GMA. I don't know how other cities adopted or what the latitude is for adopting it, but it seems like a lot of cities have adopted it, which means they vetted it as well. I
But
just
you
feel
don't-
like if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us.
Well, you don't know that they adopted it in the exact same way. We certainly have the ability to do this resolution, anybody would choose to do, as long as it's within, legal, stuff and it's written properly and all that. All I was asking for is a respect for our different laws, policies, contracts, and applicable law.
Where's that basement?
That back in the track changes.
Well, actually, I think that was if I recall, that was
Oh, yeah.
the clause that you presented via email.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently. So I don't think that's actually reflected in the packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was, I did send it as an email, and it's a little different than what I sent. It was sent, before, I think, the day of the last meeting.
Well, on the second one, I really, this commitment to civility extends to all interactions involving city officials.
I rewrote it.
Okay, this is driving me nuts. How many versions of this thing do we have? And why do we not have every
Right.
single one of them in front of us?
Here it is right here.
But it's not right here.
Well,
I mean, are we gonna talk
Here it
about
is. It's here in this book,
where?
right here. Whereas the BOMC recognizes a responsibility
Okay,
public are best fulfilled when elected officials and staff recognize one another's roles and work collaboratively in their council.
All right.
It's in that one.
And is that in document number 2?
No,
no.
I just wanted to put it back in the document too.
Okay, so everything is here.
Yes.
correct.
Okay,
Hold on, before you go, Lottie, didn't you read something here? The one that has the hook, basically,
The last one,
the one that has the repercussion
yes.
that you're reading from here on this piece of paper in your hand. That, I don't think that's in.
No, it's not. I did send y'all something like that email, but apparently it didn't get incorporated into this.
Well, I think that was emailed after I had sent it.
It was emailed after we had posted this packet, so.
For the last meeting.
No, for this meeting. So you can, here's the one clause that you're talking about here, where you're talking about charter applicable laws. That one clause is not in here.
Okay.
What y'all would have to do in that case, of course, it would just be providing simple direction to include or exclude that language from the eventual draft that y'all would have.
So, so I'm asking that this underline in the third one about recognizes that the public, if that could be incorporated into number one. And then number two, if we can have something at the end that just says we have the authority to address the conduct through, you know, the principles through the avenues we already have.
I'm not sure what that. Cause I
I have a question.
don't know what that means. I want him to tell us what that means, and I don't know, I mean, how much.
John, it's just something at the end to say that we'll address it is all. That's all it is. It's something to say.
But I don't
that
think
we
it's that
address.
simple. I don't
Address
think it
it
really
now.
is that simple.
You have options. It's not being
We already-
specific. Y'all are very specific in the electronics ordinance about how you address
That
it.
has nothing to do with this discussion.
No, I think it's the same principle.
I don't. We're talking about this and only this. I just don't know what restating that what already exists, what good that does. And I would want to hear from him about the potential problems of doing that.
Well,
You can't actually say the same thing too many times. I mean. Architects have to constantly be aware, like, don't make the same note 50 times, because if you change it once, but you don't change it the other 49, or if you change it 49 times, but miss it once, it's only the once that's going to get you in trouble. So you have to be very careful about not overstating the same thing. To me, and architecture, what we're talking about is different, but it's just, you don't want to overdo it, you don't want to underdo it. And I think, I mean,
Stephen, what do you think about the second one? Here, I'll give you what it says, the second one. You already know what the first one
Okay,
is,
right.
but it's before you.
I mean, my core thought on it is that the board can't create, right, the board can't amend a contract by this resolution, right? And the board can't create new authority.
Right.
So whether it would be a good idea or would accomplish a goal to add that, I mean, I don't think it's illegal. I think the mayor has expressed that it could take on someone might invest it with more meaning than it has based on those limitations.
Did you read what it actually stated?
Yeah, I did. I
No,
mean,
it's up there at the top, the second paragraph.
okay. The Board of Mayor and Commissioners retains the authority to address conduct inconsistent with these principles through any lawful means available to it, consistent with the city charter, ordinances, policies, contracts, and applicable law. I mean, I think that is an accurate statement of the status quo. Because it says that it retains, so it's like, it's not explicitly trying to create something new.
Right.
I think the one that gives me the most concern is contracts,
Mhm.
just because. I mean, those are multi-party.
Okay. That's
It's hers,
it's mine. I brought it in.
but we haven't seen this yet,
Well, you saw a version of it
but not, oh.
in my
Well, I'm
email.
sorry,
Yeah.
okay, I was looking for it. It's not- Fine.
No, that clause, if you recall, was after these documents were produced in an email by Commissioner Stedman.
But I
To you
printed
guys.
that email and I don't
But that was the day of our last meeting, correct?
think.
No, this
Right,
was,
so at the last meeting, there was,
Oh, that's right.
version 1 was
And
here.
I gave you the blue stuff.
And then we talked about creating version 2 and 3, which I did. Then I emailed those to the city manager. And the city manager emailed them to y'all like last week. And then apparently I wasn't a party to the communication, but it sounds like Commissioner Stedman had some more comments at that point, which was after the last meeting.
correct, the email was on August the 5th.
If Stephen modifies that to something, you know, that he believes is a better way to state it.
I'm leaning heavily towards adopting GMA version as it stands. I mean, I don't even know if we take this and modify it, we still qualify for the request of civility GMA standards. I don't know.
Is that the important thing here?
No, but I worry about the ambiguity, I worry about taking it, and piecing it together, and adding this in, taking this out, and I just.
And I would agree. I mean, I don't know what this does, and this doesn't. I'm just gonna put it quite simply, I'm in favor of this one.
I've just asked for 2 small statements to be included in it.
Okay. The one that has the track changes, so I'll call it number 3. With all due respect, you're not that, so these 3 items that were added are kind of just restating things.
Well,
I
I'm
don't,
not even asking for that at this
okay,
point.
that's fine. So those, and you know, and I said the same thing before, I didn't understand them, I didn't see what point it was to adding those. Okay, so the new thing, which I'm gonna call the hook or the stick or the penalty. To me, I understand the reason why you're asking for the penalty. I don't see the point that, to me, that penalty and that hook is not in keeping with the whole purpose of this. So Georgia Municipal Association has the website, City of Civility, whatever, and Larry Hansen has a video and he explains the purpose of this. And it was, I'm not sure how long this has been in effect, but it has to do with sort of incivility. Putting a hook and a stick at the end of this is taking away from this. The last meeting I was in a hotel, I think of, and I said, I really like this document. And the one I'm talking about is the middle one, the regular one, because it's aspirational, because it's holding us to a standard. It's a pledge, I pledge allegiance, right? It's a pledge amongst ourselves to act right, basically. Some people may be cynical and say, why do you need a pledge to act right? It's a reminder. It's just like many things we do. We go to church and we pray. It's a reminder to humble ourselves, right? Some people, let's say fast on certain holidays. You fast because it's a reminder that, I'm not the center of the world. So I'm pleased that we're joining all the other cities who've done this pledge. And it's not even with the intent of this to put a stick in the hook. That's my.
I think we are forgetting that we didn't do this for the purpose of being a city of civility. We did this because of an incident that happened that was very unfortunate for our city. And that is why we were doing this. This was presented to us as an option of how to address it. So I think this thing about conforming, is not the priority here. I think it's basically making a statement back to our residents that, we aren't gonna let something like this happen again. That we respect, each other, that we're gonna act away, and that, a lot of people think we should have addressed it better than we did. But I just feel like we've lost the reason why we're doing this. We were going to build a code of conduct, at least that's what we talked about. And this was what was put forward, but the intention was not, oh, let's take this GMA policy about civility and adopt it for our city too. That wasn't the basis for this. So obviously, if y'all don't want to put that in the end, that is fine. But I would, but I don't know, I mean, I just don't know that.
Well,
I understand what you're saying, but it's a difficult thing. I mean, the five of us are inherently different from the city manager, and it's hard to write a document that covers the differences.
I understand.
And that's what, and I don't want to just.
Well, will y'all at least consider putting in that first one I recommended? Which is in here already. It recognizes, no, that's fine.
And we're referring to the Stephen non-track change cleaned up version of the previous draft that we.
That's what we're going with,
Right.
and I'm just asking,
Which one is that?
Two,
Okay.
two.
This is two. This is one.
what I'm asking to do is down here on the first page, the second from the bottom. That the BOMC recognizes that the responsibilities of public officials are best fulfilled when elected officials and the city manager respect one another's roles and work collaboratively in carrying out the city's business. I think that I think it is important to respect each other's roles, and I don't see why there's a problem with that in.
Which document are we on here? Like there's.
Two.
So that one is in
That's
there.
the bottom.
What? So that's number 3.
Yes,
The track change, not number 2.
But,
no,
Okay.
not with red.
well, it is, isn't? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at number 3, but no, I'm not saying. All right, if you look at number 2, version number 2, which is our version with no track changes. Look at the first page.
Oh, I see it, never
The
mind,
third from the bottom.
I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, here's what I would say, okay. Let's get. The GMA version. Whereas members of BOMC recognize the special role of city officials in while they open free and vigorous debate while maintaining the highest standards of civility, honesty, professionalism, and mutual respect. I mean, I think it's.
It's fine now, it's
But
in
it
here,
says-
it's what I'm asking for is in here, so I missed that.
Because at the last work session, there were a couple of changes that Commissioner Stedman had proposed previously, and there was a consensus here that those ones were agreeable. So those I put in what we're now calling version 2 without indicating the track change, because I had already received a consensus on those. And it's basically that recital and the one that defines a public official. That's what's different from the GMA.
And to clarify, the one with the track changes that you're referring to and the one number 2, you tweak the words. So
I
the
tweaked
third
it.
up from the bottom is not the exact same wording as the track changes in number 3.
It's close enough,
Yeah, you said you did some edits to get the language to it.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Very much.
Okay, let me just say something. Would you say? Ignore my remarks. Would you say this is the version you're after?
This is the version that Steven said was the second version, I'm fine with.
Okay,
The only thing, because he clarified that one of my points was already in here and I missed it. The only thing we're talking about at this point, different from the second version that you've approved and agreed to, is the ending one about, what I want. You still have it or give it back?
The stick.
It's
Absolutely.
really a stick.
Right, but for
Yeah,
the
it's just
purposes of
something
getting everybody on the
We
same.
have the right to address the conduct through our already existing laws and policies. That's all it says. I mean, you know,
Can we consider two things at the next meeting?
Yeah, y'all.
Okay. How about, here's version one, right? It's the one that's,
No track changes.
right, okay? That's one,
mhm.
and then we'll have two. Whatever it is, wherever it is.
Okay,
And we're gonna make a motion on one. If it fails, we'll make a motion on the second one, and if that fails, we start over. That's simple. We have two things to vote on. How about that?
We're number two, we call it number two.
Who's the clean version, no track changes?
Mm,
No,
no.
one,
Why?
That's now one.
Oh, that's now.
Just turned into one.
yes,
So which one is number two?
Not
No-
counting the template.
no track
not count the
changes.
template at all.
Okay.
Right.
Get in.
Which one is number two?
Who's number two, or for the purpose of
Wait a minute,
what
well,
we,
I mean-
Jonathan just said. Number two, today's number two,
Okay.
no track changes, no yellow.
Now one.
It's
We
a
have-
plain document.
All right, let's figure out going. Okay, in our packet, we have a GMA template. That is not a version.
Yellow, let's call it yellow number one.
No.
Oh, okay,
That's
that's
the
fine,
template.
it's zero,
Template is zero. so
yellow
now-
zero, okay, fine.
Then we have this one, right? Which is in
Okay,
your
number one,
packet.
got it.
That's one. And then we have this, which is, somebody give me a clean version of this.
Is that the same?
It does not look the same.
No, this is the other one.
It was in the packet.
Did I pull it out?
Something in the top.
I think I
Is
did.
this, so
It's the
is
one
this
that
the
has the
version?
underline.
Is this the version that you're okay with?
No, I'm okay with this version.
Okay,
The only thing I asked to add to this version was that we have reserved the right to, what did I say?
Well, it's the text that you.
It's just basically that we will review. That we have the authority to address the conduct inconsistent with the principles through our existing laws and policies. All you have to say, all you have to add.
So when we come back for the regular meeting. We will have two versions. I will label them in the top right corner, version one and version two.
okay,
And version
That's-
two will be the same as version one, except it'll have exactly one additional clause. Which is gonna be at the end, and it'll say. The board has the right to enforce things already, you know, but I'll use the exact language.
Right, okay.
and when can we have those two versions on? somewhere?
Tomorrow.
Okay, is that okay?
Think so. And we'll have two to choose from.
Yes.
Make a motion on one, if it gets the votes, that's it. If it doesn't, we'll move to version two.
It's votes, got some.
And we start over. Is that fairly democratic?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how else to kind of. Do you understand? Okay, you got it. All right,
You're gonna send us another one.
Yes.
okay, all right. We'll move here. Can we move to the next one?
Yes.
I'm not in a hurry, I'm just saying, is everybody okay? Well, but okay. All right. Item number 4. It's a long title, I'm just gonna let you.
Okay. So we've dealt with these types of things before. The state updates their regulations with respect to various laws, like stormwater regulations, sewer regulations, all of those types of things, which then require us to amend our own existing ordinances, match that regulatory language. And this is one of them. This is essentially suggesting that you can no longer have a septic tank on your property as a means for collecting wastewater products.
So you're not grandfathered in anymore?
No, that's not true. Right,
You're still.
you're still
You
grandfathered.
already have one.
You just
can't
can't,
install.
you can't install.
We just close language, you know, right?
Correct.
So this was like dictated to us by the state agency, and they basically say, if you don't do this, then we're gonna not give you funding or something.
Right.
Sorry, that was, okay.
Literally just ensuring that we operate within their own
So
regulatory
our
framework.
language matches their language and everybody's. Percentage.
Correct. Easy peasy.
And you'll see. Well, there's not really much we can do, but.
No, right.
I mean, we could, but we would just.
We can thumb our nose at them and then no longer be eligible for stormwater related
And I
grants.
think we would lose our local issuing authority also.
Plus, we also don't want people installing such things. So. The win.
Never heard that, but okay.
Right?
All right. Any questions?
No.
All right, so we will vote on this August 20.
It would be that would be your initial read.
Oh, I was changing the ordinance, so first read. But we could do a consent vote.
Correct.
So first read.
This would be one of those I'd recommend.
Right, so first read, possible vote is on August 26th. All right.
Correct.
But can I just say one thing? And I thought this was true and I looked at it and confirmed that there would still be the potential for a septic tank. As long as it serves exactly one residential lot and it has a daily flow of less than 2,000 gallons. So it's not a flat prohibition. But this is the language they gave us to adopt.
Okay. But again, it's their language. Goes on. Okay. So, again, first read, August 26th, possibility of a vote. All right, item number 5.
Yes. Okay.
Good job.
Yes. So, when we're working with GDOT monies, we have to agree to a PFA, a project framework agreement. Multiple occasions throughout the entirety of the project. So this would be the project framework for the design phase of the shared streets project that will be funded using the transportation's alternative grant that we got from GDOT.
And the DDA is doing the magic to the shared streets.
Well, they're not. Remember, the DDA has pledged to give that to the city for the purpose of using it as its match. So the DDA is not making the payment. The DDA would.
Transfer us the 670.
Correct. For us to use as the match requirement for the grant. But this first project framework is just for design services. And then, of course, once we get to construction, we will have another project framework agreement for that. Y'all might recall, I think Jonathan has signed a whole bunch of these in his day, but we did this for 278 as well with the financial resources payment.
So this is the design for the entire project.
Correct.
Okay, and then, since the DDA is gonna give us the 673, is this 100 part of that 673?
Yes.
And will they send that to us?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct. It's just essentially broke the grant award. Lida is in 2 phases. You've got the award amount that's eligible for design and then the award amount that's eligible for construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is, again, something we would vote on at the August 26th meeting.
Yes.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, item number 6.
Okay,
Stormwater drainage easement at 723 Stumpton Road.
I think it's 7:32.
So 723.
I think that is actually transposed. Isn't the address 7:32?
723.
No, I think the easement agreement is. actually-
723, so.
I'm pretty sure it's 7:32. So we need to make that. It's just a typo. There you go. That's it. So. There are. Stormwater conveyances that are owned by the city that run through people's private property. And this is one of those. This is a drain that is in the drive area of this home. And correct. And the drain grate is broken. In order for us to install a new drain grate and then maintain it in perpetuity, we need an easement to perform that work upon this private property. Interestingly enough, several years ago, we obtained another easement on this same property for the purposes of the Kensington Stormwater Retention Project. But that easement area didn't cover this drain. And so once this drain was brought to our attention, we said, yes, that's part of our system, but in order to perform and maintain, we need an easement. The property owner has agreed to the easement. Now you have to agree to the easement, and then we can replace and maintain that drain cover. That's it.
Okay,
And we will fix that typo.
so it's supposed to be 732.
Correct.
Well,
So that on the document that the homeowner signed, it also has
We'll just strike it and initial it, so.
2 places.
Yep.
very lows.
Yeah, I was surprised with that.
So this is not really a lot. to Talk about here.
Yeah.
We signed it.
Yeah, I mean, we had, before bringing it to you, we had to get buy-in from the property owner. So we did that first. The property owner is also who brought the matter to our attention.
It's all good on that. So we'll vote on this August 22nd.
26.
26. Sorry. Okay. And last but not least, discussion of an amendment to the golf cart ordinance to allow crossing from South Avondale to Pine Street.
Exactly. So, as a part of the 278 Fleet Street project, one of the things that we were attempting to do as a part of that project was to create a safe golf cart crossing from the residential neighborhood over to the downtown. We have identified the place where that crossing can be made safely. It's at South Avondale to Pine. However, our golf cart ordinance does not permit crossings across 278. In order for GDOT to consider allowing said crossing and permitting that activity, we have to amend our own ordinance to allow for it. And amongst other things we have to do, but this would be one of the steps in the process, correct?
So you said it's from South Avondale to Pine. Is that gonna be like across from the Abelia hedge to my parents' basement?
No.
No, where is that?
No, it's at the light, the protected, so,
This there.
yes,
Where's the
Where the-
physical therapy?
it's at Pine Street, not Oak Street.
It's right there at
Okay.
the corner of-
It is at my parents' basement, but not
It's like,
at Skips. That's
it's
my
like
parents'
Carl's
basement.
Corner.
It's where South
The
Avondale.
other side,
Carl's Corner.
correct,
Yes.
It's where South Avondale.
South Avondale Road and Pine Street.
Comes in.
Okay, what's gonna have to be done to make that acceptable crossing? I mean, there's not really a cross place right there now, is there? It's over by the little strip mall.
That's it.
Oh, it's gonna be there.
No,
The cars would
No.
line up like traffic.
no, it's in the street like a car.
It's in the street like car, correct? That's
Okay,
right,
so-
but we've got protected lights there. Whereas, excuse us? So that is the only place that GDOT would allow a crossing. Would be where those lights protect the traffic. So,
Still a little confused on whether it's on the Abelia Hedge side or over on the and you said it wasn't there.
That's, you know. where-
no, it's past the Abelia Hedge, right? Where South Avondale and 278 meet.
Right.
And if you cross 278, you go to Pine Street. They're across from.
Is Pine Street behind the waffle? I can't remember which one. Is Pine Street next to the parents' basement?
Yes. In between my parents' basement and Avondale.
Yeah.
Physical.
Okay,
So my parents' basement parking lot
so it's gonna be
and the
coming
Avondale
off of that,
Physical Therapy.
that little hook from the end of the Abelia
You
Hedge.
got it.
Correct.
Okay,
Like-
what kind of accommodations are gonna need to be made to make that?
We don't know all of those yet. There's a process. We believe that we're also going to have to, in order to do this, reduce the speed limit on South Avondale Road. In order to, get the permit. In order to do that, we have to do a speed study to make sure it's feasible to lower the speed limit. So we've got some steps that we have to take before we even get to the point where GDOT will consider permitting the process.
And this is kind of step one, but if we were asked this, it wouldn't automatically allow golf
No.
carts to cross right there, right?
We-
We got a long way to go. before
Correct.
that. It's legal.
Because you have to
That's
create the
You're gonna
right
have a lot
kind of
Engineering,
Yeah.
signs,
for it.
I
correct.
just don't want people to see them pass this and say, oh,
Oh,
no. You know,
here's-
It's important. It
Yeah.
does have a little bit of a
Yeah.
timeline of your first discussion of it.
So yeah, basically what we're saying is,
Any confusion.
right,
About we. Mark.
Well,
Yeah.
And just in the past, I've been the one that's objected to this because. You know, I don't want a golf cart full of 15-year-old. I'll say boys because I'm a boy and I was in them. 15-year-old boys tossing and something bad happens and because they're not paying attention. Not paying attention. And. You know. I've been the one like, so actually. I almost think we need to maybe think about the golf cart ordinance as far as who can drive and who can't. We've heard a little bit here and there about, you know. Teenagers driving kind of nuts. You know,
Underage people.
I mean, I have seen in person a golf cart flipped in the SC district. His girlfriend was to, you know. I mean, and the same thing can happen on the residential side as the commercial side, as we say sometimes. I just feel like, you know, we need to be really careful where they're crossing a major road. I don't know, I just think we need to maybe talk a little bit about golf ordinance and who can drive at what age and.
okay, so that is determined by state law.
No, that's us.
No.
No,
you-
we're the ones that allow golf carts on our street.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about age limit. We can't say a 14-year-old can drive a golf cart.
But we can
So
say a
this-
15 or 16-year-old cannot.
Correct.
Yeah,
The state parameters are 18 is as low as we could take it. So once you get to be 18, according to the state law, you're gonna be able to drive the golf carts if it's allowed in your city at all.
I thought it was 16.
No,
That's-
so we could set the age anywhere between 15 and 18. The state allows, like a lot of times it's the opposite, like the state is the most strict and you can't change that. In this case, they're actually letting the local government make the decision.
Right. And I think we need to maybe talk about making it a little more strenuous.
I think it's 18.
yeah,
It is 18.
it's 18.
In Avondale?
Yeah. There's a lot of people under age.
There's no way.
Well, that's the ordinance.
That's what they were-
Right, that's the law. Now, people break laws all the time, and it's up to us to enforce those. but the law is already in place.
We need to do something better because I know some of these kids, they're not 18. And I'm not gonna say, hey, you know, come over here, I need to talk, I mean, I'm not a policeman, I don't do that, that's not my, I'm not gonna do it. I know it's happening. So what are we gonna do about that? Because it's gonna happen.
We can't do, so enforcement of laws is completely the purview of the police chief. I can't direct him, nor can you guys, how to enforce. We can just establish the law, and the law is established.
Because if we do this, now 15-year-olds are gonna be driving on the commercial side.
Well, I mean, again, our law doesn't allow for that, so if we catch a 15-year-old driving the golf cart, then we can cite them.
But we can have an expectation that if the laws will be enforced.
Correct. You just can't direct enforcement activities, nor can I, because I'm not a sworn law enforcement.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's communicated priority.
Well, okay, that's a different discussion. All I'm saying is, I've been the one, like, wanting us to be very careful about allowing any crossing because when something bad happens, you can't undo it. You know, and I just want to make sure that
We don't have to allow it. This was just something that we said we were going to do as a part of the
no,
project.
and oh, okay. I've been running my mouth for a while. What do you guys think?
I think we need to see what a crossing looks like, what GDOT's requirements are gonna be for that. That's kind of a launch intersection, you know, most people go left out of that intersection, I mean. Kind of a handful of times I see somebody go straight or go right, and so it's like, you know.
Y'all please not do that. Kathy,
I'm
Can you
having
please-
information on from this person.
I know, but it's distracting. And we can hear it.
I get why people want this, but you know, I think safety has to be absolutely number one priority here. They. You know, I think we should see what GDOT says and what they require, or flashing light, I mean, I don't know, is it just like crossing the regular traffic light, are they gonna say, okay, this is good, light's green, you can go? That might be it.
If they're signs, so people are,
If it.
it's sign.
Golf cart crossing here.
Yeah.
There's signs for the motor vehicles to see that they're coming up on it. There's signs for the golf carts. Just
Yeah.
show where to do it. But I do have a question is GDOT telling us that we have to pass this ordinance before they will review the?
No, they've already started their review process. So we were way down the road, but this is part, because this was part of the 278 project. So we're doing, we're in the final throes of this. And so we already know where the signs have to go. Is you got fueled though with us years ago. And we moved that pole in order to, you remember moving that pole to create a more conventional intersection so you can cross it easier. And then they have a signage program that they require, and they have been reviewing their own regulations. So before we can actually get all, it's a little bit of a chicken and egg, because I don't want to put signs up and we don't have an ordinance that allows it. So trying to tie these together so that if we're doing it, and of course the direction has always been told out that wanted to do this. GDOT's very specific, so there are intersections that don't qualify. Like Clarendon does not qualify. Do it. We could not do it at Oak Street because they didn't, there didn't cross through the ability hedges. So there's only one location that is possible or feasible for this
crossing would then, that gets you into the, from the single family and into the downtown. So this is the option. This is fun. This is the only place that it will pass the criteria that is necessary to enable this. And so, you know,
Yeah, I mean. I see what you're saying. I think you're, you know, I agree that people got golf carts probably should not be driving golf carts. Whether they're 16 or whether they're 50. But, you know, you can't legislate good behavior or good parenting, you know, and I don't know. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about it, kind of like you are.
My gut is just, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's like. When it crosses the road over to this side, it becomes kind of a different thing. And I don't know, just.
We're gonna
I
have
guess
kids
it's
going
just
through
a-
the drive-through. People driving along town and I'm like, you know.
It's just, like, it's just, yeah, it's like. And I've been the one that's in,
Oh,
Ryan Fisher,
sure.
like, oh, sir, it's gonna be fine, it's, you
Yeah.
know. He would like it on me jokingly, but I was always the one that's like, oh man, I don't feel good about this. You know,
Well, you can always rescind it or change it in the future. I see it as a positive, I'm sorry.
No, I'm
And
sorry.
that intersection is, let's call it, well regulated now. I mean, you get your chance to go. And then you wait for everyone else to get their chance to go. So to some, it might be even tedious. How slow it is right now. But on the sort of looking forward on the positive side, I think it's just such a great amenity
it would be awesome.
for the adults.
No, it'd be great.
But I do think that if this ends where you can leave the permitted area, it's appropriate to have a reasonably sized signage to make it clear that you don't go any further than this point. One time I came up here to that corner just in front of Santo in the golf cart, just to make a U-turn, just to see the new road. And the police officer got on his thing and said, "You're not gonna cross, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not."
Well, I mean, I appreciate the safety concerns because that is the most important. But it looks like if we've already got, you know, a number of violations of age driving, then it's most likely it's gonna happen in the crossing as well. So, I mean, that is, you know, maybe something that has to be addressed, because I think it's gonna be worse, you know, for a 14-year-old to be driving a golf cart just around the neighborhood, and it will be even worse trying to cross the main street. So, I think that is certainly something to consider.
Is this document different? I know it has amendments, but is it different than what's on the website under like golf cart ordinance?
exactly the same thing, with the one exception, yeah.
And I'm sorry, so I thought I knew where, but isn't there a place in here that states the requirement to have a driving license?
Yes,
Can you point me to it?
yeah, it's
That's true. It's just registration.
G,
Yeah,
age 5, section G.
they register a motorized spot. Does it say drive?
Oh, may register us, sorry.
so I believe now.
Can a 16-year-old with a driver's license drive a golf
Yes.
cart in Avondale State?
Yes,
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's not 18, it's 16. And frequently it's 15 and probably 14.
well, that's not legal
But this does say 18.
to register.
Register.
Not to operate, to register. It's not the same thing.
I agree.
So my question really was, can a 16-year-old drive a golf cart? And the answer is yes. That's what
With a
we're-
license.
With a like,
With a license, but where did I feel mostly certain that I've read license.
yes,
So can you help me find that? On the website, I've seen it. I think I've seen.
yes,
Why would you need them to be older to drive a golf cart than a car?
Well. It's the registered part here.
Right, but I mean, you said the state law says 18, right? for driving?
The state law says for golf carts, it says that, so golf carts cannot be driven anywhere in the state unless the local government adopts an ordinance like this.
Okay.
And the state allows the local government to set the minimum age at 15, 16, 17, or 18.
Okay.
So section 18-189 is what you're referring to. Whereas those persons possessing a valid motor vehicle driver's license issued by the state are who are allowed.
So that would be, you have to be at least 16 to get that.
And it's not permit, it's license.
It's licensed,
License.
correct. So even though we have all observed persons under the age of 16 operating carts, that is not legal. And they could be subject to punishment in violation of that law currently. And if you wanted to, per our attorney, if you wanted to revise the ordinance to disallow persons 16 or 17 years of age from operating, you can. But you can't increase it past 18, correct? That's what we're saying.
And to answer your question, the reason why you would up it is because golf cart is nowhere near as safe as a car.
That's true.
So, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just having trouble letting go of this. Is, it's just, I mean, I think if a 16-year-old's driving around the residential area, they kind of know eyes are on. They're kind of in a safe zone. I know it's just as dangerous from a perspective. But I think once you can get out of the neighborhood over to the commercial area, you're down near Sam's Crossing, you're over near the railroad crossing, you're crossing a state road where people don't always stop when they're supposed to stop at a red light. I mean, I think the road dye has greatly improved the safety out there, but this is DeKalb County. People run red lights every millisecond of the day. You can run a red light, there will be 3 people behind you doing the same thing. It's like, that's what worries me. It's just, it's, you're kind of, you're kind of expanding the range of possibilities. You're kind of getting out near the edge. You're already in a moderately safe vehicle. I mean, the golf cart's gonna lose any fight with any other vehicle, period. Any car, any truck, any Jeep, I mean, anything, I mean, it's just, it's not gonna end well. These things are designed for golf courses, and so I'm just, I don't know. If you need me to shut up, tell me to shut up. It's just my gut is. We might need to revisit this and maybe up the age, and I know it's gonna be hugely unpopular, but it's just. I never got arrested, but I was the idiot when I was 15, okay? I just see me at that age, like, it's not gonna end well.
I don't have, you guys just tell me what you want to do. I'm just taking this project through, but it's a difficult thing to do. But I will say, I'm not sure what the difference between, don't I have the same risk as a pedestrian? Don't I have the same risk as a cyclist? Don't I have the same risk if I'm on an electric bike or an electric scooter or a scooter that's not, I mean, don't I have those same risks?
No, a golf cart goes faster than a bike, certainly goes faster than you can walk. And there's something about a golf cart that just encourages, I don't know. Something. It kind of does. It's just like, they're fun. It's like being in a Jeep. You just kind of want to go do something crazy, right? Because it's a Jeep. I don't know, that's the difference to me. It goes a lot faster.
Well,
Number one.
not these days, than a electric bike, electric scooter.
Electric bike, true.
You're following the rules away.
I mean, the bottom line is,
I think I may be in the minority. on
we're
this one.
gonna have, every crossing, right, is at your own risk. There's nothing we can do to completely eliminate accidents of any kind. I would assume that at some point we'll probably have a pedestrian accident. At some point, we'll probably have a golf cart accident. We've had bicycle accidents in the city multiple times. So I think regardless of what you do, we're gonna, that risk is inherent. There's nothing you can do to really guard against it.
Well, I don't agree with that. Can.
Meaning you can't keep the guy from running the red light.
All
I
right,
mean, I can appreciate where you're coming.
okay. I digress.
I don't know how I feel yet.
All right, so, this is just step one towards opening that up. So this would, again, be something we would vote on at the next meeting. Or, well, this would be first read. Okay, so,
Unless y'all wanted to, again, we present this document as it currently is with that one, and then unless y'all wanted to amend the age requirement to be able to operate, which we could also do. And it would make sense for us to, if you want to do that, to do it at the same time, so.
all right, so first read, August 26th. Okay. Well, that is anybody have anything to add on to that one? All good? Up here? Okay. Public comment. Yes, Julie.
Julie Fleming, 40 Clarendon. I want to comment on number 7 and on this agenda item down. So, I think a lot of residents in Avondale Collective would agree with the idea that there are too young people driving golf carts too fast in the neighborhood. Moderated a lot of discussions, and it starts with, let's find out who's doing this, let's let their parents know what they're doing out of their line of sight. And then sometimes the tone of the discussion can get difficult. And you touched on it a little bit when you talked about how we're going to comment on each other's parenting. It's a toughie. So what I would like to suggest is that you consider at greater length the age for operating golf carts in the neighborhood. That is my suggestion, that there be further discussion, even if nothing changes. Number 2, I'd like to talk about this item down here. It doesn't have a number. So I'd like to thank you and reinforce my delight at your vigilance in finding ways to make this down here come true. Specifically the part about each speaker may speak once for up to 3 minutes. I wonder if maybe when you open the meeting, we might want to remind people that the guidelines are printed down here. I love the warnings at 3 minutes with 30 seconds. I'd just like to point out that if someone comes in really excited to make their comment and they accidentally go past 3 minutes, past 6 minutes, past 9 minutes, then they are holding hostage Chief Hess, Lori, our guest from Decatur-ish, everybody here. So I'm really grateful that you are working on ways to remind us that this is printed down here and we should all be doing this. So thank you.
Thank you. Jan.
Jan Hover, 89 Berkeley. I think it's kind of counterintuitive to have slow moving open golf carts going across a busy road. Even if it's at a place where I just think it's, I mean, I'm worried about it. I really am. I'm worried about it. It just seems like an accident waiting to happen, but that's just me. And sleep. Plus at night, at night, when cars maybe not see you as well, which is a lot of people will be using your golf carts at night. There'll be the little light, for whatever is decided here about how it's gonna be marked. But cars, it just seems that would be the one time people would be using it, it might be a little bit scary for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy.
Oops, sorry. Kathy Kingsbury, 817. Follow up on the golf cart. I just think that we need to start enforcing the rules we have on the books before we create new rules or alter it. Strobe lights, brake lights, underage driving, kids weaving in and out of traffic. I mean, I'm with Jonathan. I'm terrified of, maybe because we have boys.
he has a girl too, so, but it's just, we've got to enforce, and someone related a story to me real quick. They were at the beach, their 12-year-old was driving a golf cart. The police stopped the little girl and said, you can't be doing this, and you know who's gonna get in trouble? Not you, but mom and daddy. And I think he wasn't being overly mean, he was just saying, this is not right, maybe doing some of that stuff, but we've got to enforce the rules we have. I see golf carts all the time without brake lights, I see them parking still on the green space. Couple of tickets, maybe somebody might start following some rules.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Margaret.
Margaret Lunsford, non-Brooklyn. I'm just thinking about the golf cart too. I have a golf cart and it's so much fun to ride around Avondale. And I always thought, oh, that'd be good if we could go across the street. But when you think about it, you're going across the street to traffic, not residential street. There's tons of traffic over here now. And it's like, where do you go and how far can you go? Can you go down to Sam's Crossing? Can you, I don't know. So I love having a golf cart, but I think it might be dangerous to have them all back in here when there's cars. And I mean, you go to the market on Sunday and it's like, I can't imagine golf carts all in the midst of that traffic. I mean, it just, anyway, just thinking about it, but I'm kind of with Jonathan.
Thank you for your comment. We can come back. Anyone online? Hey, no comments online. Any other comments out there in the audience tonight? Seeing none, if we bring it back up here, I'll get up here. Okay, all right. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Wida, do I have a second? Second. Louis, all fair say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for being here this evening. We do appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week and weekend.